What's going on, Survivor fans? It is Wednesday, and that means it is Survivor Wednesday. We are covering 2 episodes tonight, 2 awesome episodes. After a double elimination, Elizabeth struggles to regain her social game. Lauren wins an idol. The Loved Ones episode is tonight. Nora once again proves she is crazier than ever. And we've got 2 fiery tribal councils. We've got our MVP segment. We've got news and gossip. Don't move a muscle.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Major issues this episode.
Did you move a muscle? I hope not. I told you not to.
Veronica has the vapors.
But yeah, Veronica is on another thing. Happy late Thanksgiving, everybody. We are back. Unfortunately, the studio was closed last week. I know you guys missed us. We missed you. I'm joined by a beautiful panel, Veronica Valencia.
Hi, that's me.
And Mike Thieling.
Is that right? Isn't the vapors like an 18th century, like what they said when people were sick? Just like a catch-all, or did I just use a totally wrong term?
I thought you meant like vapors, like she's been smoking, like vaping.
No, it was like when they didn't know what was wrong, it was just like, she have the vapor. I'm gonna look that up. What's up, everybody? Good to see you.
We're just gonna talk about Veronica as if she's not here tonight, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm Timothy Michael. We're very, very excited to be back, you guys. Like I said, we are covering 2 episodes tonight. We're gonna briefly touch on last episode, episode 10, Bring on the Bacon. Then we're gonna go into episode 11. Like I said, 2 fiery tribal councils. We've got 2 people who went home. We're going to talk about that. Lauren winning an idol on Island of the Idols. I want to hear your thoughts about that, you guys. And Nora, once again, just crazier than ever. So let's dive in, shall we, you guys?
Yeah, sure. First of all, though, I was right. The vapors is a historic old term for people with mania and hysteria. That's Veronica tonight.
Why, thank you for Googling that very quickly, Mike.
You learned something tonight on the AfterBuzz show.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
You're
I
welcome.
apologize, Survivor fans, on behalf of Mike.
That's right. That was Mike's Survivor tip. Mike's Survivor tip is to be intelligent and informed.
Josh, that noise was absolutely amazing. The more you know. Thank you so much. So, guys, overall thoughts on the last 2 episodes?
Yeah, so for episode 8, my overall thoughts were, I thought it was a pretty strong episode. I think it really showed Lauren's strength as a competitor, proved that she was a very strong competitor. I think at the end of episode 8, emphasize at the end of episode 8.
You mean 10?
What episode are we on?
10 and 11.
10 and 11, thank you.
I was like,
It's going great. 1 week off. Everything's
I stopped counting episodes, okay?
We're still in food comas, you guys.
Yeah. Okay, at the end of episode 10, right?
Yes.
Last week was 10, this is 11. Okay, thank you, Tim. At the end of episode 10, this season has us so upside down because the people who I felt were favorable became unfavorable, and the people who were unfavorable became more likable. And the reason I say this is because at the end of last week's episode, I was like, I'm rooting for Nora and Karishma, which I feel like not many people were saying that, but hear me out. Hear me out.
Go ahead.
No
Karishma, yeah. Well, Karishma had like 2 power moves back to back. She was the deciding vote in that one vote, and then she played her idol correctly. Nora was a very strong competitor. These women were labeled as goats early on, but no one, at least no one in the current season, was like, these girls are gonna become good at the show. So I was like, hey, this is an interesting twist. I'm all for it. And then obviously everything that happened tonight just kind of reversed that.
I mean, we've said time and time again this season that the females of the season have dominated the men in terms of like social game, and the fact that the 2 goats, quote unquote goats of the season, are now like overpowering the men. It just really is very ironic to me.
In terms of tonight's episode, sorry, I'm still going.
No, yeah.
In terms of tonight, it started off really strong, and then it just became a mess, and I didn't necessarily enjoy the outcome.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to talk about it.
I like both episodes from a viewing perspective, but if you are actually in the game playing tactically, tons of terrible things going on. Not good for a number of people, but as far as viewing, I thought it was pretty good. Put in the comments, please, am I the only one who keeps getting thrown whenever they say GOAT? Because to me, GOAT means greatest of all time. And I know what they're using it here, like more like leading lambs to the slaughter.
Yes.
Like, I get it. But I feel like every other avenue where it's said in sports and everything, it means like the top #1 best. So like, here comes Karishma, the GOAT. And I'm like, what? Nah, yeah.
Well, according to Veronica tonight, she is the goat.
Hey!
One of them, at least. So let's talk about episode 10 really quickly, you
Let's
guys.
talk about our empty urn where we didn't put our...
We're going to do that. You guys, we're going to do that live.
Everything is great.
Everything
Happy
is going
Thanksgiving.
so
We're
great.
doing so well
We're
tonight,
doing
guys.
so well, you guys. So let's talk about Lauren really quick. Veronica, you touched on this earlier when, Lauren volunteers to go to Island of the Idols, and she pretty much plays this game of, just I guess, predictability, if you will. She pretty much has to choose who or predict who is going to win the immunity challenge. And if she does, She gets obviously an immunity idol. And then Rob kind of like ups the stakes where he goes, we'll give you a 2 of 2.
I don't think that's upping the stakes. I think it's making it easier.
Well, her hidden immunity idol would be good for 2 tribal councils, but then if she had lost, she would have lost 2 votes for 2 tribal councils. That
is that what happened?
Yes. And
okay.
Speaking of that, just obviously foreshadowing or hindsight, we know what happened in this episode. If Lauren had lost her vote, that would have been bad.
Catastrophic for 2 episodes. Yeah, absolutely.
So, obviously it didn't. She obviously predicted the winner would be Nora, which we'll talk about that challenge in a second. But what did you guys think of just Lauren's kind of in the spotlight? We really haven't gotten much from Lauren, but we did in that moment.
I thought it was super impressive because she was analyzing everyone the way I, as a viewer, with my knowledge as a viewer, was analyzing. And I just thought it was impressive because these people on the island don't have as much information as we are given as an audience. So I was like, wow, you made the same kind of observations that I would make.
Her reasoning was amazing. It was a perfect display of strategy and thinking through perfectly a challenge, not giving, even though she doesn't know this, right, which is a disadvantage to them, but not giving in so quickly to what Rob said. So he gave her that extra choice. She stumbled into it, but great way to do it.
Yeah.
Better lucky than good, I guess. But the rest of it, of her analysis, was spot on and amazing. I was super impressed.
Yeah, so let's talk about this immunity challenge that she had to predict. So she essentially picks Nora and Elizabeth to win.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, of course.
The one big thing I didn't understand is nobody seems to be putting together Island of the Idols. Everybody coming back has a little different story, and at least they're not airing anybody going, wait, she said she broke some urns. This one said something else. Like, no one's really matching up, and I wonder if it's going over their heads or they're just not showing it.
I think at this point, everybody has kind of figured out that nobody's actually going to tell what's going on with Island of the Idols.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because Lauren wholeheartedly jumped up and volunteered to go to Island of the Idols.
Right.
So I think everybody realizes now at this point that you go to Island of the Idols with a chance to win an idol.
Sure.
Yeah, and it might put a target on your back, but at this point, who cares? Everybody's got a target on their back. So I think everybody knows what's going on. I think everybody knows everybody else is lying about it.
Yeah.
We're not telling the full truth.
Yeah, makes sense.
But they're like, we don't care. There's 7 people left. Who cares? So the immunity challenge, pretty much our tribe mates, they have to pull up on a handle, clamping a ball between a set of jaws. If anybody lowers the handles or drops the ball, they're out. And pretty much this is when it gets interesting because Jeff gives them the opportunity while they're playing. Anybody who drops out can enjoy a lovely brunch breakfast.
No.
Sorry.
They had to decide before.
Oh.
So either you play or you eat. It's not as you drop out or whatever.
You.
Yeah.
Yes. So before they eat or before they start playing, a lot of people dropped out.
Can I present to you a scenario?
Yes, please.
I want so badly for one day to be they all choose to eat except for Nora, and then Nora wins immunity and no one eats. Because they have to.
Why Nora specifically?
Because Nora, no, because they.
Is she on your fantasy?
No. She's on Tim's fantasy. Listen, hear me out. No, hear me out. So everyone besides Nora chooses to eat, right? Mm-hmm. That would be the funniest thing ever because they're only allowed to eat as the challenge goes on. Right. But Nora would win immunity by default. So then no one eats.
But anybody
would. How funny would that be?
It would be funny, but I'm pretty sure Jeff would still be like, okay, well, you guys can eat.
Not as funny as if literally everyone just said, I'm eating.
Right.
It's like, well, in fact, why don't they do it? Why don't they just discuss it? Guys, let's all eat. They can't not give immunity. Well, maybe just no one would have immunity then.
Well, I like that. But then at the same time, there's always the one person that's like, I don't need to eat. You know what I mean? There's always going to be one person that's like, even if me, you, and Veronica were on a tribe and somebody came in right now and was like, if the 3 of you don't eat, then you know what? Nobody gets $1 million. But if one of you doesn't eat, then you guys can play. You know what I mean?
You're talking about
Somebody's
the prisoner's
gonna be like,
dilemma.
Let's go. Yes, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like nobody would ever do that.
It would be really cool to see, though.
It would be
I'd
cool
want
to see.
it.
It would be cool to see. So Nora wins. This is her second individual immunity challenge to win. Good for her. Mm-hmm. I think that her yoga ability or the fact that she does yoga helps her with these endurance challenges. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointed that 6 people decided to eat. Somebody hit me up. I think Chels hit me up on Twitter. she was like, "Oh man, Mike's got to be pissed right now that 6 people went." And you're like, absolutely. Oh,
Well, because we say it time and time again. If you feel, and they say it at tribals, they said it at tribals several times this season. If you feel that safe, you probably shouldn't.
yeah. What gear are you playing in?
Right, exactly. Oh, God. Don't bring it back to that. And the fact that all of those people, 6 people, sat out.
That's so disappointing. What are you guys doing? You're not
you're not
safe.
here to play. Yeah, I mean, you're here to play. Then why are you not playing?
Yeah.
I don't
Anyway.
know. I mean, maybe they're really hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was just
No
really
bacon tastes as
tempting.
good as $1 million.
I guess not.
That's the
$1
thing.
bacon.
That's the thing is I would be so, I don't know. I'm really, really, really difficult to be embarrassed, but I would be so embarrassed that if I was voted out that night because I went and ate pancakes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. So back at camp,
Making a surprise cameo
Oh.
is producer Vito, who loves it when I make him get on camera every single time. Hey!
Vito is here. He's gonna fix some cameras for us because he's amazing. Vito says hello, everybody, Survivor fans. So back at camp, pretty much Elizabeth's name is thrown out pretty quickly. Rightfully so. She's a threat in the game.
Here's the thing about that. I understand that, yes, Elizabeth is a physical threat, but she also has 0 allies at this point. So I thought maybe they would have used her as a number.
That is
Because
true.
she's on the bottom.
That is true. I do think, and we talked about this before the show even aired, I do think that it wasn't just because she's a threat in the game. I feel like her decisions on what she did with Missy and the whole Dan situation really came back to bite her in the butt.
I feel like we don't get a really good read on this group on how they're voting. They wanted Karishma gone so bad for so long because she's just bad at the game. She's not participating in camp. She's bad at challenges. She's an easy vote off. But then you look at someone like Elizabeth, Olympian. She's amazing at challenges. She's really strong, pretty strong socially. So they vote her off. So it feels like wishy-washy. Where they go back and forth on, do we vote someone strong or are we keeping numbers? It makes sense to, even though I really, really liked her from a competitive standpoint, it makes sense to vote her off. She's strong.
Yeah.
And she's probably a really good talker at the last tribal.
What did you guys think about Nora going through Karishma's bag? Because like we've talked about this before. There are no, I guess, hard rules in the Survivor game or the Survivor rule book about going through somebody's personal belongings.
I still feel weird about it, but I get it. Like, they are allowed to do that. They're not allowed to take anything, but they are allowed to look.
Yeah. Look at
Mike doesn't care.
No, I mean, I'm about it because you got to do everything you possibly can do within the rules. That's why if you get a hidden immunity idol, it's dumb to leave it hanging around by itself.
Yeah.
So at this point in season 39, Mike's Survivor tip, you should know by now that this kind of stuff is going to happen. You shouldn't make it so easy to get found out.
Yeah. So let's talk about this tribal. So clearly a lot of people were feeling a little wonky in this tribal council because Dean plays this fake immunity idol that he got
So
from,
good.
right?
So good.
I mean,
he played a fake of a fake, which
fake
is
of a
even
fake,
better.
yeah. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know that the original is fake.
Right. So then Karishma plays her idol, rightfully so, because she got a lot of votes. And it just baffles me that Karishma, and good for her, was literally one of the only players this season to play her idol correctly.
Good.
Yeah.
Good move.
7
Good
votes.
move.
It's a good move.
It was a good move.
That's what I'm saying is, these women know the other contestants didn't really like them or want to work with them in the beginning of this season, but it's been interesting to watch how they have become good at the game.
Yeah.
In maybe, not excellent at the game, but they have made, let me rephrase this, they've made strong moves.
Yes. I feel like after everything that happened once again with the dance situation, we had slim pickings on who to pick after that because a lot of people with that scenario really surprised us in how they reacted to it and their actions in that whole thing. So I agree with you, Veronica. I think Nora, being as crazy as she is, and Karishma being a little slack in the beginning in the game, definitely literally where can you go but up with those two?
improved,
You know what I mean? They improved. So Lauren also gets scared. She plays her idol.
I didn't understand that.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Did you agree with Lauren playing her idol?
I truly felt that she had nothing to worry about, but I guess in a season where no one has played their idol correctly, it makes sense to at least play it.
Yes.
But I just felt like she had no reason to.
Who knows what they're feeling? It's easy for us because we can see all the moves and stuff like that, or usually, at least the edit, but she obviously felt really weird that night in a tribal, and better to use it.
Well, I mean, we've seen time and time again this season people going home with idols in their pockets. One person went home with 2 idols in their pockets.
Well, especially, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Especially since it was only good for 2 tribals. So if you're feeling any kind of way, just use it because next week could be completely fine. Who cares?
That's true. That's very true. But I feel like she used it in this moment because she was scared.
Yeah.
Because Dean played a fake idol. Dean doesn't feel safe. Karishma plays her idol. But then it all goes back to the immunity challenge when everybody sat out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Dean sat out. Lauren sat out.
Exactly.
So then why are you guys rushing to play idols at the tribal council when you guys just sat out in the beginning? That's not fair.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I mean, it's fair,
You're not surprised that Lauren sat out, right? Because if Lauren won immunity, then she would have lost hidden immunity.
That's true. Yes, that's true. That's true.
It balances out.
The other side of the coin to that is maybe she should have played so that she could get down to her and one of her picks, and then she could drop. Or if her picks both drop, she could still win immunity. So I don't even really agree with her not playing either.
I completely agree with you. So we get a tie. Karishma, like I said, has 7 votes, don't count. 1 vote for Janet, 1 vote for Elizabeth. Now, in this moment, we've all seen, or throughout the episode, that Elizabeth was a target. Janet, her name really never came up.
It only came up because it was like what they were telling Karishma.
Right.
It was a story they were telling her, yeah.
Right. So Elizabeth obviously gets voted out. Did you guys in this moment feel bad for Elizabeth because she wasn't the original target? She was just kind of, collateral damage? Or were you like, no, she had it coming?
No, I really liked her. I think it was unfortunate how her whole alliance kind of got picked apart there. And I think she was a really good player, and I think she ended up on the wrong side of some numbers. I think she might be an easy shoo-in to come back for some kind of all-star season or something. She's very athletic. She seems really smart. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I disagree with you, Mike. I feel like the whole Aaron, Missy, and Elizabeth, I mean, Aaron trying to mansplain his way out of that whole situation, and then Missy's actions, and then Elizabeth's actions as well. I don't think that they're going to ask any of them, all 3 of them, to come back for anything.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that was very disappointing.
Yes, so disappointing. And we talked about the reunion episode, which we're very excited to watch because they're going to bring up all of this stuff again. And I want to see Missy and Elizabeth's reactions to it. I want to see if they apologize. I want to see if the fans have gotten to them or if they have a change of heart. I want to know.
That is going to be the tensest reunion. Jeff is going to want to throw it back. Who originally did the reunions?
It was like, one of them was like Rosie O'Donnell, I think.
But one of them was like a newscaster or like a weatherman or something.
It was
the
like
original,
season 1.
Like it was like a CBS news anchor or something, wasn't it?
I don't think
Jeff's
gonna
want to throw it back to somebody else. Like, I don't want to do this one. I don't want to ask these questions.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, this one is going to be fire. There's a lot of.
It was Matt Lauer.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
Matt Lauer. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Well, Jeff is going to be doing it this one, so I mean, we're excited to see that reunion episode. So Elizabeth gets voted out. Now, before we get into episode 11, I'm going to shoot it over to Mike for some words.
Oh yes, there has been just craziness last week on Survivor. This week on Survivor is no different, but we know you guys are always with us, our extended panel, and you guys know that we're here for you, and we're here for you at AfterBuzz across all the different TV shows you guys watch, all the different genres, everything. Veronica, now's the time for Veronica to spaz out for real. So, we guys need your help. You know, you guys are watching us on YouTube. Subscribe to all the different AfterBuzz channels. We got after shows for all the different shows that you guys like to watch. Give us a big thumbs up, and if you're listening to us on iTunes or any of the other fun podcasting services, give us a 5-star review. Leave some comments. Let us know. We'd love to shout you guys out like we did Chels before. Sheena, Thomas, Salaspop, Eric, of course, Thomas, Emily, Nathan, Sheena, Desiree, and Nathan again. We love you guys.
We love you guys. We do this show for you guys. So without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. So thank you guys for joining us once again after Thanksgiving. Like I said, it took us a little bit to get on the track, you guys. But we're here now. So
I don't even know if we're still on track.
I don't think so either. We're never on track, you guys. Let's be real.
It's more fun that way.
It is. Totally. I agree with you, Mike. So episode 11, called A Very Simple Plan. We open up with the loved ones challenge. We get to meet everybody's loved ones. Lauren gets her husband. Tommy gets his girlfriend, etc., etc. Karishma gets her arranged marriage husband, which I thought that was interesting.
This was very interesting to watch just because, or like we were discussing this early on in the season, Karishma was very vulnerable and open about how she feels about her relationship. And I don't know, it was kind of interesting to see how excited she was knowing kind of what she said previously, but I'm wondering just, has this experience changed her view on that since it happened?
I thought it was extremely tense. All around the table, the three of us were like, I forgot that had happened in this. So much stuff has happened this season. I forgot she said that about her marriage. Real quick, want to shout out Thomas McGee for correcting me. Thank you so much. It was Brian Gumbel. It wasn't Matt Lauer. Brian Gumbel was the original host of the reunion show. Thank you so much,
That's
Thomas.
why we love you guys. Thank you
so much. But yeah, the Karishma, that was sketchy. That was, I don't know. She's been up and down, weird with emotions. It's going to be weird when this guy sees this.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that are weird when people see this.
Lot.
I mean, Dan brought his 13-year-old son Ryan. I mean, how?
And this kid he's going to watch all this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact, you guys, that this whole thing with Dan after this reunion show is going to affect his family in some way.
Sure.
It will.
But can we also just talk about how his 13-year-old son is on Survivor?
Right,
like
that's another thing.
How they flew him all the way to Fiji. And I mean, granted, this wasn't like a pair challenge, but could you imagine if it was?
I was hoping. No, well, we said it would not be fair.
Right.
He could scoot under that log, no problem. He needs like 5 inches of sand versus.
Well, I think the
rest of
producers
them.
know what challenges they're going to do in the Loved Ones episode, and I think that if it was something like that, they probably wouldn't have let a 13-year-old
Make this 13-year-old like throw a ball.
Yeah,
It's like
or something
impossible.
that.
Something.
So yeah, no. I mean, it was nice seeing everybody's loved ones. It's always nice seeing where they come from. For some reason, and this is just on a personal note, usually I'm more attached to the Loved Ones episode. Usually I'm almost emotional when I watch the Loved Ones episode. Usually I'm almost tearing up with somebody's story. And in this season, I'm just not really attached to any of these people.
I am emotionally attached to this episode, and I always feel very sad because this episode comes and I always think this could be a food auction episode.
Yes.
But instead it's the family visits
You
again
know what,
that I don't
Mike?
care about.
I agree with you, and I love the family visits. I do, but I really, really miss the food auction.
love the
I don't
food
understand-
auction.
Back.
I know. I don't understand why we
So
can't have
good.
both.
It's so much better.
Why can't we have it the challenge before? Why can't we introduce this as a staple? Maybe it got too expensive.
I really hope they bring it back next season.
Maybe the food auction got too expensive.
It was so good.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think. Do you guys miss the food auction episode? We do, clearly. So the challenge is pretty much they are tethered to another tribe mate, and then they have to go do a whole bunch of obstacles, crawl under the log. We've all seen it before, and then land a sack on a wooden disc. And pretty much these are the teams. Let me just flip my page. Nora and Dan, Tommy and Janet, Karishma and Lauren, Dean and Elaine. Now, out of those 4 pairs, did you think that they were evenly matched, or did you think one had more of an advantage than the other?
Even. I looked at those teams and I thought, okay, everyone put people together that they could have an even shot with.
Yes.
Maybe we missed it and they said it, but we all said there's no way this was a random pairing.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because Dean and Tommy could have been paired together. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nora and, there was so
Janet
many,
and Elaine could have been part
Janet and
of it.
Elaine.
Right.
I mean, Dan and Elaine could have been paired together. I mean, it's just, I don't want to sit here and do the whole conspiracy theory of, was it really random? But, I mean, they were pretty evenly paired, in my opinion.
think so.
I agree with
Yeah.
you, Veronica. So, Tommy and Janet wind up pulling it out. They have to pick, obviously, this is obviously pretty standard Survivor move, where they have to pick a survivor to join them. They pick Dan, and then the other person that they pick is Lauren. So we already pretty much know that Tommy, Janet, Dan, and Lauren have a foursome going on. Nora was supposed to be part of that, and they don't pick her. And she's pretty butthurt about it.
Oh, God.
Let me toss this out real quick.
Yes, please.
What do you guys think about these challenges? Do you purposely lose? Do you not win because you don't want to make the choice? Because it never is good. There's never good repercussions from choosing reward winners.
It's hard to say because as
Yeah.
a competitor, I
Right.
would want to win just for the sake of winning.
Yes.
The best you can hope for, granted it's not going to happen, the best you can hope for is that you are stuck with people who understand it's a game. It's a game.
Right. I feel like it's always one thing or another. It's like going to Island of the Idols. It's like, being the first person to, win an immunity challenge once the merge happens. It's like everything puts a target on your back this day and age in Survivor. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to win it. And if I win it, then if you want to target me for that later on because I didn't pick you, then it is what it is.
And maybe it's just Nora because she's a lot of bit nutty, right? She's kind of out to lunch, right? But I don't
The
understand.
elevator doesn't go to the top floor?
It doesn't.
Okay.
I don't understand people who react like this in this reward situation. She thought she was part. Hold on. She thought she was part of a 5 group, right? Okay. Well, if she had won, that means her and her partner would have taken 2 people and there'd still be 1 left over. So in her mind, was that person on the low end of the totem pole? Did she really think that there were 5 strong? Because if she did, then she would understand somebody's got to be left out. But the vitriol she came down with was like, what do you want these people to do? They got to pick somebody.
I get that. I just think it's like...
Guys,
yes.
We have breaking news. It's actually episodes 11 and 12.
Stop! No way! You guys, once again, like Veronica said, we do not have this trade on
Producer
track
Josh.
at all. I mean,
Thank you, Josh.
Veronica thinks it's episode 8. I think it's episode 10 and 11. I mean, clearly we're on episode 11 and 12. So we are currently talking about episode 12.
Why did
of Very
Josh
Simple
have
Plan.
to wreck us like that?
At least he didn't like shout us out over the walkie. Josh, we appreciate you for that, but we can do it ourselves. So we are talking about episode 12. Now, here's what I will say about Nora and this whole being so mad that she wasn't picked with this whole foursome thing. I think it's just the way that the numbers added up. Tommy and Janet were just 2 on that 4 or that 5-some that got paired together. I mean, if it wasn't like that, then I do agree with you, Mike. Somebody was going to be left out of that. But then in that case, do you pick somebody instead of picking the 2 people that are part of your foursome or 5-some or whatever they have going on? Do you pick somebody like Karishma or Elaine, somebody to throw it off? You know what I mean? So nobody does feel left out. You know?
I don't think you win any way you do it. Okay, but I've got to read some of these comments
Yes,
because you
please.
guys are going nuts. I love this chat. Sloss Pop says, "I think Nora is playing for the Sia fan favorite." I love that. And Chels with a really good question. What did we think about Janet saying, "Want me to choose who goes twice"?
That was weird.
That was odd.
That was odd.
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
I thought it was weird too. I felt like they were a team. They won together. And I don't know, maybe it was like a consideration thing.
She's kind of trying to take the bullet. Like, I'll call it out.
Yeah.
If I'm Tommy, maybe I'm going, sure.
That's a good
Sure,
point.
yeah.
That's a good
Don't
point.
put my name out there, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if Janet was smart with her words, she'd been like, "We decided to pick," instead of "we're pick" or whatever. I don't know exactly. I don't remember the words that she used, but I don't know. I mean, it's just a slippery slope, you guys. I mean, it's like once again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Honestly, like I said, I'd rather play and win.
I normally lean towards what Thomas McGee just said. I would win and choose to take the pair who would finish in second. If there's an easy way to do
Yep,
it, that's a
that's
real
easy,
simple
yeah.
out and that's very fair and then
That's an easy
you really gotta
explanation.
you really gotta play it the right way.
Yeah.
Your alliance, if they're going back, guys, we're solid, straight up. The new people, try to bring them in.
Yeah. I always say the same thing, and I agree with you, Thomas. I feel like they should always pick the person in second. With this challenge, it's a little tricky, though, because they all pretty much got up there, yes, in different orders,
Right.
but, I mean, you pretty much had the same chance to kind
Yeah.
of get that ball on the disc. So, technically, it was a tie at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But I do agree with you. I think that picking the person who's closest,
Yeah.
it's just the safest option. So, at the picnic, I want to talk about this winner's picnic, if you will. While Lauren, Dan, Janet, and Tommy are enjoying their feast with their loved ones, they want to talk strategy. And immediately they throw out Elaine's name. Mm-hmm. How did you guys feel about that? Do you think that that was a smart choice? Would you have said Elaine's name?
I think from the choices that they had, I think Elaine was more favorable to win, so it made sense. But I think this foursome is dangerous, not only in that no one had noticed before that they needed to break them up, but also at some point these 4 are going to have to turn on each other.
Yes.
I don't know who beats Elaine in the final right now. She's my
Janet.
favorite player.
Janet could.
Janet versus Elaine would be an amazing fight. First of all, you guys know how I feel. I don't like final 3s. I like final 2s.
Yes.
So for me, when it's a final 3, almost always, and somebody here, Veronica, is going to school me with like the one time that it didn't
All right,
happen.
let's
Almost always one person gets like no votes or one, and it might as well not have even been there. I think once or twice it's been kind of
It's
even between the 3.
That only happened in no. It's usually pretty even. I would say it happened in Fiji and it happened in Tocantins, where it was an overwhelming vote for one of the 2.
So I like it when there's just a final 2, and Janet versus Elaine would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And I do feel bad for Elaine, and I do agree with you. I feel like if she got to the final with whoever, well, no, because like I said, Janet is a pretty close
That's a
runner-up.
tough.
That is tough.
They
but
got
I
good
mean,
stories.
Yeah, they do have really good stories. Back at camp, though, Nora's going crazy. We saw that. She's pretty much spilling all the tea. She's just going off on pretty much literally from day 1 all the way to day 30.
But then something about an ex-boyfriend, too, I think got thrown in there or something. Like,
Nora
what?
was fun this episode to watch because she did just go off. Like, it was so entertaining to watch, honestly.
I agree with you. I think it was entertaining. I liked the idea of, hey, maybe this 4 can get on with, like, go against
That's
this
the thing
4.
I like too, yeah.
Of
I mean,
course.
it was, but, and the 3 of us watching this immediately were like, this plan is bound to fail because there's too many hands in the pot. There's 4 people. You're counting on 4 people not to say a word to 4 other people on this tribe.
And as we know from what happened in Tribal
happen.
Council, it made this moment even more like, WTF is she doing, going crazy, and then doesn't even
Yeah. Well, to be on the safe side, they all decide to go look for idols. Elaine winds up finding it, which I thought was very smart.
Yes,
I agree with you guys. And Elaine finds it, which, once again, I guess Survivor gods, her name just got popped up with, them at the picnic, and now she finds an idol, which is good for her. Here's my question to you guys. When you're with a group, because she was with a group, they were all looking for the idol together, Elaine finds it. Does she have the obligation to share that idol with the other people?
No, she doesn't have to, but it seemed like they were working really strong together as a 4, so of course you'd probably want to share it so that they can figure out, okay, who should we play it for?
It depends on which side of that I'm on. If I found the idol, then I have no obligation. If one of my group found it, then I would work as hard as I can to make sure they know they have to play it for one of us so we can get further.
Yeah, so Elaine winds up finding an immunity idol. Then we go into the immunity challenge. Before that, they kind of throw out Lauren's name because they're like, well, if we're going to pick somebody, it's either Lauren or maybe Tommy. But Lauren is their pretty much the person that they want a gun for.
Yeah.
And during the immunity challenge, which is standing on a wooden block, stabilizing a ball on another piece of wood. They love pieces of wood in immunity challenges. Pretty much, Lauren winds up winning the immunity challenge. So that kind of throws a wrench in their plans by targeting Lauren. So now they kind of turn their votes onto Tommy.
Still a smart move.
I agree
Absolutely.
with you. I agree with you. Did anything stand out to you guys in the immunity challenge?
Nah, it was pretty standard.
It was pretty standard. I mean, Lauren sitting there, fighting versus her and Elaine, which I thought was another thing that was funny. 2 people who have their names thrown out there. This is what Survivor is about. This is what playing and fighting for an immunity idol is about. Not sitting there having breakfast. Sorry, I can't get over that.
They gave it a good shot. Yeah, it wasn't a very exciting immunity challenge.
Yeah. So right after that, they immediately talk about splitting the vote between Karishma and Elaine, just in case Karishma found another idol, which I thought was smart. Do you guys support the idea of splitting votes, or how do you guys feel about that?
It's tough because there's always an opportunity for someone to have an idol. So I would say I'd support them. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, if the math works out right, absolutely, you have to.
Well, that plan is shot really quickly because we get back to camp and Nora just goes and tells she's pretty much being loyal. And like you said, Veronica, they up until Tribal Council, I thought they were going strong. I mean, Nora was like, you know what, this is what's going on. This is the plan that they're doing. I honestly thought that they were going to pull this off.
I was hoping that they would pull this off just because it would really shake up the game right now.
Yeah.
And, it would really make you think, okay, well, who's gonna come out next kind of thing. I was hoping it would work, but Dean of all people, it wasn't even necessarily Nora that blew up the game first. It was Dean, and I didn't understand
confusing.
I agree with you. Let's talk about the Tribal Council. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. This entire episode,
Go ahead.
I enjoyed this entire episode up until Tribal, and I think it's just because I saw what would have been a really solid gameplay just completely crumble for no reason. The only reason I can think Dean would sabotage the game is because he wants to get in favor with Tommy in hopes of getting out Lauren, who Dean was the one who originally threw out Lauren's name before she won immunity. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of is he wants to gain favor and get back in the good graces of Dan and Tommy because he knew he was on the bottom of that alliance.
We went back and forth with, is this a dumb move by Dean? At the end of the day, my gut sitting here right now says Dean knows in his heart of hearts Nora is terrible. Nora is a lot of fun TV. I'll give everybody that. It's fun to watch. I think these episodes are entertaining. She's a terrible tribe mate. And she's a terrible alliance member. She's completely not trustworthy, as she has proven time and time again. Like we said, she just completely flipped on Kelly out of nowhere. Well, Kelly told me to vote this. Like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like, there's no secrecy. She can't, keep stuff private. So Dean must have just, and we know Dean had this thing with Tommy and Elizabeth and Lauren from before.
Yeah.
He must, maybe in just that split second, he said, I can't go with Nora. I don't trust her. I'm going to garner some favor and jump back over there.
Well, here's my question, because Veronica and I were pretty much on the same page. We thought that this was all staged. We thought this whole Dean thing was
So
staged.
much.
Because why would Dean wait until this moment to whisper to Tommy? Why this moment?
Why not tell him back at camp? No, you're
Exactly.
absolutely right. If this was staged, it would have been Oscar nomination. It would have been amazing what they did.
The other reason why I thought it was staged was because Karishma, who has a lot of things to say at Tribal, was very quiet.
Right.
So in my mind, I was like, maybe they were trying to make Nora the target. That way, all of their votes would go back to Nora. Elaine would play her idol for Nora. Then that way they could. But then in my mind, I was like, they still have Karishma. They're still going to vote for Karishma.
Literally, if they did that and they pulled that off, the rest of the other side should just quit. Just
That
extinguish
would've
your
been-
own torch
I
and
agree
be
with
like,
you.
okay,
That
yeah,
would've
you
been-
guys
That would've
win,
been
you
epic.
win.
I was hoping for that because I wanted a shift in the gameplay. I was really hoping to see something kind of different come out of this, but Dean blew it up.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Survivor being a chess game all the time, but this would have been, like you said, Veronica, the ultimate chess play. Like,
Amazing.
to do that, to have that many unpredictabilities, including Nora, which is an obstacle in and of herself, to get all of that in order to make this happen, to target Tommy would have been their vote, would have been brilliant.
I mean, they would have had to show us next week the actual discussion of this going down.
No, they're not going to.
Well, no, I know, but if that was actually the plan,
Yeah.
I have got to see the behind the scenes and them saying, okay, when we get to Tribal, Dean's gonna whisper to Tommy that we're voting for him so that they switch, and it's Nora and. It's just a genius level. When we were watching, I said this is 4D chess.
Yeah.
If they did, it's amazing.
Yeah. So do you think that the plan was for Dean to say something to Tommy? But
No.
No,
okay.
I don't
Okay.
think. I think that was Dean trying to better his game by, like I said, garnering some favors
agree.
with Tommy. And I mean, hey, if he feels that's what's going to work for his game, great.
Yeah.
But man, did that Tribal get so messy real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
That's
Nora
us.
got, which was funny to me, and we have a very short amount of time, so I do want to get to it very quickly. But Nora got caught in a lie, and Tommy caught onto it really quickly. He was like, "Well, why didn't you say anything?" But Dean did.
I was gonna
I was gonna
No,
right
come
now.
on.
You know you really.
It's
really,
so transparent. That's
so
panic mode
transparent.
lying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree with you. But it is nice to see, just benefit of a doubt. It is nice to see that Nora was going to go through.
She was?
She was going to be loyal. She was actually going to
Amazingly.
go through
That's
with
the
it.
thing. That's the other thing that was so frustrating is because we knew right from the beginning. Oh, Nora is
gonna blow it up.
Is gonna blow it up because she talks a lot. But the fact that she got that far and it seemed to going okay, it was shocking. Like honestly, had it gone through the way it did, she would have been my MVP tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to get to MVPs in a second. Elaine also played her idol. Obviously, she didn't need to. Once again, an idol wasted. But I don't blame her. I mean, this was a very crazy Tribal. I would have probably played it too. You never
Yeah.
know what's going to happen. Karishma winds up getting voted out. The cow with 9 lives. 9 lives ran out. I mean, are you guys surprised? Would you rather have it been Nora? Are you guys...
I think Nora and Karishma, I think overall view, were kind of on the same playing field. So I don't think it necessarily matters who went home. I think it would have made sense if it was Nora because of what happened at Tribal. But
I think between the two, Nora probably has a better shot of winning. So if you're trying to bring along the weakest person to beat in the end, maybe you should have voted Nora. But they've been trying to get Karishma out for a long time.
That's an interesting point, Mike. I do agree with you. I think that Nora is a little stronger than Karishma. Why she may be unpredictable and however she is loyal. She was loyal to her people until they kind of burned her out what she felt was burned, and then she was going to be loyal to these 4 people until Dean blew up her game. So
Actually, as much as I spoke negatively about Nora, the history is she is loyal
She is.
until right after it's done, and then she just blows everything up, right?
Yes,
that's like a weird loyalty. Yeah. So honestly, next episode, she probably would have been like, yeah, so this is what we did when you guys were at your picnic. And well, all right.
Yeah.
Then.
You know she's going to tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
So that is our review, you guys, of episodes 11 and 12.
That's it.
Of season 39, Survivor.
Can we just
Island
say
of the
review of
Idols.
some episodes?
We got it in the
Reviews of
last
some
2 minutes.
episodes, Yes. Let's go to our MVP of the episode, you guys. So we, at this time, are going to...
Are you really going to write it?
No, I was going to, and I was like, we don't have time. We'll just say who our MVP of the episode. Who would you have voted for, Mike? We'll do oral.
Oh, why is it
MVP
got to start
episodes.
with me?
I'll go first.
Go, please,
Veronica.
please.
Elaine.
Okay.
I'll just say Elaine.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good for you.
I'm gonna say Dean. I just think it was interesting how he blew everything up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never expected that to happen.
You
So
know
I'll
what?
give it
Since
to him.
we're doing 2 episodes, I'm gonna say Lauren. Lauren had a really great episode last
That's
episode.
true.
I agree with
And
that.
in this
Lauren
one,
for episode
she fought for
first.
and
Yep.
she fought for her immunity to win this challenge. So I vote for Lauren.
That's a good one.
Let us know who your guys' MVP of the episode was. In terms of fantasy draft, you guys, I do want to mention that very quickly. Oh, it's right. What are you saying ooh for? So
What?
Producer Joshua coming out of nowhere with the
Josh,
sound
our
effects
wonderful
tonight.
engineer, is giving us some great sound effects tonight. So, unfortunately, I'm down to one person, and that's Nora. I'm gonna win. Veronica, you are down to 2 people, Janet and Dean. Pretty
Okay,
good.
I don't know.
Mike out of nowhere. Mike has got Elaine, Lauren, Tommy, and Dan still.
This never happens.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, last.
I just want Elaine to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens, you guys. Let us know who is on your fantasy draft. Let us know out of our fantasy draft who you think is going to win it all. Mike has a better chance than both of us. Veronica, I think we've established that.
Oh, I love Emily Marlowe in the chat. MVP, Jeff Probst. Probably as a joke, but let's give it to him for hooking Nora's sister up and letting her go out of it. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so
That
nice.
was
That was
dope.
Who is
sweet.
that in the chat?
The Emily Marlowe.
Emily,
Very
thank
smart
you for bringing that up.
observation.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really sweet. Jeff is always.
That made my heart
Jeff's
melt.
good like that.
Yeah.
He's just a different kind of gentleman. He is. Let's get into some news and gossip, you guys.
Okay.
Veronica's got some fun stuff for you guys.
Veronica's got a hot take.
I got a hot take. Not so much news, but I just needed to share this with you. I came across this on Twitter at Ryan Kaiser, who's basically saying we aren't talking enough about the Survivor secret scene where Nora cleans the well. Why the heck wasn't this aired during prime time? And it's just Nora cleaning the well. Like, what is this?
There's so many questions about this.
I mean, this is like a Ring episode, you guys.
It's just, oh my gosh, I don't know where these pictures were posted, how this ended up on Twitter, but this is brilliant.
Literally.
I feel like we don't know that's what it is for sure. More likely she dropped something.
Maybe she dropped
because,
something,
Because
yeah.
what are you
Probably.
cleaning? What are you cleaning
Yeah.
with? And then the water just goes back down into the well. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So you're drinking dirty water, and it makes sense.
You know what? It's
I
Nora.
don't know.
I don't put anything past her.
That's true. She's like, I don't have to do this.
Yeah. She's like, okay. She
My
wants to-
alliance is down here.
Yeah. She wants to examine the water. My alliance is down here. Stupid. Okay, well, now that we know that Nora may or may not have cleaned a well, we are going to move on to...
She's crazy.
She's crazy. We're going to move on to predictions, you guys.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
How do you predict
I
what
don't
it
know.
is?
Oh, who
Nothing
knows?
makes sense this
It's
season.
so unpredictable, you guys. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Do you have any glaring predictions?
The only thing I can think of is, it's not necessarily a prediction, but the smart thing to do would be to break up the 4.
Yes.
That would be the smart thing to do, but I don't,
But now they don't even have the numbers.
but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think Dean is going to stay with Tommy and Lauren. I think that's going to become solid again. And I think they'll probably start picking off the other.
Elaine and Nora.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Elaine might be able to persevere. So I think Nora's probably going next.
Oh, yeah. I do agree with you, Veronica. I think that Tommy, Lauren, Janet, and Dan definitely are going to ring in Dean. Maybe, but then he'll just be on the bottom of the 5. I don't know, you guys. Let us know your predictions, everybody.
Yeah.
This season has been so unpredictable. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, you guys. That is our review, like I said, of episodes 11 and 12 of Survivor Island of the Idols. We're so glad to be back with you guys.
What was
It
this?
was fun.
2 more
It was
episodes.
fun. We have 2 more episodes. Thank you for bringing that up, Mike. We have 2 more episodes. 7 people left. 2 more episodes. We're going to be flying through these episodes, you guys, before Christmas. But in that case, let us know where the fans can find you guys.
You can find me, Veronica Valencia, on Twitter and Instagram. It's me, Veronica_V.
Guys, my name is Mike Thieling. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Desiree, Thomas, Nathan, Chels, Malcolm, Eric, Sheena, Mira Domains, Nathan, Royal, Thomas, Emily. You can find me everywhere at Mike Thieling.
You guys are awesome. I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. We will see you guys next Wednesday for Survivor. Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.